Hello beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. Thank you so very much for being here with me today. I pray that you all are staying safe and healthy and as balanced as possible in these chaotic and crazy times. So this video is inspired by the new moon happening in the sign of Taurus, and I am so excited to be talking about this new moon. I feel like I've been waiting for it for a while, being that I'm a Taurus myself, so I'm really excited for this new moon. But yeah, that's what we're going to be getting into today. This video is inspired by the new moon in Taurus, so you can use the information in this video all year long. No matter what month it is, no matter what day it is, no matter what moon it is, you can use the information in this video all year long, because as I am talking about the different details of the different planets and the signs and the houses, those details of those energies stay the same no matter what year it is. The only thing that's going to change is the different aspects and the placements of these different planets and luminaries and things like that, and how they interact with each other. You do not have to be a Taurus, sun, moon, rising, or anything for the information in this video to apply to you. This is a collective general reading, so it's for everyone, it's for the whole, so it does not matter what sign you are. This information applies to everyone. As well as, I keep getting asked if I am doing personal readings right now. No, I am not. I'm so sorry, you guys, but I took a break when we started this year, 2020. I had no clue why. I was being led to take a break. Now I completely understand why I was led to stop personal readings for the time being, because not just globally what's going on, but even in my own personal life, there's so much going on. So I just don't have the time right now, but you guys will be the first to know when those personal readings become available again. So as well as, I do keep getting asked, because this channel is growing so fast, and I'm so happy about that. I'm so excited that you guys are enjoying the content, and the space that we're creating is just, it's so amazing. So also keep getting asked if I have any social media. For you guys that have been subscribed, you already know, no, I don't really roll with the social media. It's just not my thing. The only social media that I have is a YouTube channel. So it's just kind of like a one-stop shop. You can find me here, you can find all my content and everything here. But so if you already know why you are here, then you can head down to the comments in the description section down below for the timestamps to different points and topics discussed throughout this video, like the astrological chart, the meditation, herbs, oils, and crystals. I do believe I'm going to be talking about in this video, as well as I have not pulled any cards yet, but I will be pulling some cards here on camera. So yeah, other than that, let's just go on ahead and jump straight into this video. So this new moon happening in the sign of Taurus will be occurring April 22nd, 2020, or April 23rd, 2020, depending on which part of the world that you live in, but you can do a quick Google search to really figure that out. So for those of you that will be experiencing the new moon April 22nd, 2020, that's kind of a really big deal, because the new moon equals the numbers 444. So it's the fourth month of the year. The 22nd, that equals the number 4, and the year 2020 equals the number 4, and we are in a 4 year. So 444, this is a really, really, really big deal. This is definitely a portal opening time of energy where you can really pull in different, almost like dimensions of yourself, if that makes sense. This is a great portal opening, gate opening time where you can sort of pull from different dimensions. You can sort of pull from your future life, your future reality. You can pull from your higher self, information from your higher self. You can manifest different parts of yourself that is existing in different dimensions. I hope that made sense. I hope that, I don't sound too cuckoo to any of you guys like joining me for like the first time here. We go deep in this space on this channel. We go very, very deep. Okay, so yeah, this is a great gate opening, portal opening time. So a new moon, what is a new moon? The new moon happens when the sun and the moon are in conjunction with each other. And when two luminaries or two celestial bodies, two planets are in conjunction with each other, that just means that they're sitting very close to one another. Within about 8 degrees or so in astrology, they consider that to be a conjunction. When the moon and the sun are sitting close to each other, the moon is completely invisible. If you try to go outside during the new moon happening in Taurus at night, you're not going to be able to see her. She's completely invisible, and this is because she has exhausted herself or relieved herself of all of her energy, and she does this during a new moon so that the way she is primed and ready to be fertilized or implanted with fresh new energy, new ideas. This is why a lot of people during the new moons, they love to set intentions, new intentions, because it's such a fertile time for your energy to be implanted and for that to eventually blossom or grow into some sort of, materialize into whatever it is that you're trying to bring into fruition. Okay. So, a lot of people will set intentions during a new moon. Me personally, I always advise that, you just follow your own intuitive sort of knowing, if intuitively it feels like the right time for you to set new intentions or to release, it does not matter what phase of the moon it is. What matters is intuitively what you are feeling as you are synced into the universe, because we all have our own natal charts. And this natal chart, it's like your energetic thumbprint. There's no two that are exactly alike. So in other words, you were crafted or created by this universe, by the creator, by the Most High. And that means that you are a very uniquely crafted being. You have your very own frequency, your very own vibration, your very own energetic language, as I describe it as. And so this means that it is very important for us to be tapped into our own frequency, not necessarily just the universe, not necessarily just what's going on astrologically, but we have to be tapped into our own frequency in order to tap into what's happening around us, basically. When the external environment and your own internal environment come into alignment, that is when you want to manifest or set intentions, however it is your ritual is, whatever your routine is. Me personally, I haven't set new intentions in the last 2 to 3 months, even though astrologically I was looking at the charts and I was like, this is the perfect time for me to try to bring in this. But intuitively, I knew that it wasn't the right time for me personally. And I always advise that you first listen to yourself, to your own internal energy, to your own higher self, before me, before the planets, before anything else. Listen to yourself, okay? Because you have your own internal GPS that is guiding you. Moving on, what is Taurus energy? We have to talk a little bit about Taurus, their energy, what it is. Like I said, I'm a Taurus myself, so I know a lot about Taurus energy, but basically, Taurus is the ruler of the second house, and Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus. Now, when we deal with Taurus, this is a very reserved, methodical, sort of move at your own pace, move at your own speed sort of sign. A lot of people will say that Taurus moves very slow. I would say that we move at our own pace. Once we get going, we stay going. If we get going at 60 miles per hour, we stay at 60 miles per hour. If we're like, you know what, I feel like only moving at maybe like 2-3 miles per hour, then we're going to stay consistent at that. If we don't feel like moving at all, then we're going to sit and rest on our laurels until we feel like moving again. So, I would say that we're more so like finding our own pace and then maintaining that pace, maintaining that speed. So I wouldn't necessarily say that we have a certain speed that we travel at. It's just kind of whatever it is we feel like doing. Taurus's mascot is what? The bull. Can you move the bull? Hell no. You try to move the bull, that thing's gonna ram right into you, or not. Maybe that's more so like Aries. But if you try to move a bull, you're going to piss them off. So it's all about when a Taurus feels like it. And this is why I say that Taurus can be a little bit selfish, but in the sense that it's more so like, what do I feel like doing? I see that the rest of the world is moving at this speed, but what do I feel like doing? Yeah, you could see this as a leader. You could just see this as just someone that just could care less about doing what everyone else is doing, because Taurus is very, very much so concerned with themselves. And it kind of blocks out the rest of the world because it's all about, I need to make myself feel good. This is also a fixed earth sign when we're dealing with Taurus. So this means that Taurus is very in tune with the body, very in tune with the self. And when you are in tune with the body, that means you're very grounded, you're very centered. And if you're in tune with the body, that means you are in tune with the earth, Mother Earth, and the universe around you, honestly, because when you tap into your own being, you tap into the being around you, so it's kind of like when we meditate, we're not necessarily meditating, we're actually being meditated on. We're actually sort of fitting into the stream, the rhythm of existence, the rhythm of life, the rhythm of flow, the rhythm of energy. And that is what Taurus is really sort of all about. It's all about rhythm, just moving in harmony with everything. Because Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus, Venus is all about harmony. Now let's talk about the ruling planet of Taurus, which is Venus. Okay, so Venus is the goddess of love, beauty, attraction, sex, money, wealth. She rules values, she rules esteem, worth, the things that make us feel worthy, the things that make us feel esteemable. She rules sensuality and pleasure. And did I mention that Taurus also rules the five senses? So basically, Taurus and Venus coming together, this energy is very much so about the five senses, stimulating the five senses, because it's all about making this life an experience versus an existence. If it wasn't for Venus, we would not have very much depth or dimension to life. Life would be very 1D, very kind of black and white. It wouldn't be vibrant without Venus. Venus really connects us to our five senses. It connects us to the different experiences that we can have throughout life because of those five senses. And the five senses are just what? They're just communicators, receptors that send information back to the brain saying, hey, this is what you're experiencing throughout this life, throughout this existence. So Venus really feeds into the fact that I'm walking and I can feel the earth beneath my feet, or I'm listening to music and this music is really almost like penetrating my soul. So it's very much so about feeling life, and feeling life with all the five senses, not just hearing sound, but also being able to see it or taste it or smell it or sense it in a different way. So this is a very fluid sort of, well, energy in itself is very fluid. Venus is the planet of the divine feminine. If we could personify the divine feminine into the image of a planet, it would be Venus, because that's what she represents. She represents the feminine aspect of nature and of life. And so when we're dealing with the divine feminine, what is that exactly? She is attraction. She's chemistry. Think about the Empress card in tarot. When we deal with the Empress card, she is very abundant. She's surrounded by nature. She's surrounded by the earth. She is, in some cards, she is depicted as pregnant even because she is so fertile. And she's teeming with life because she is so attractive. It's all about attraction, chemistry. I'm going to draw you into me like a magnet. I'm going to bring you into me. That's the way we can produce or reproduce something else. And this is exactly why you are drawn to certain things. You're drawn to music, or you're drawn to a particular person, or you're drawn to a particular color, or you're drawn to a particular whatever the case, because that is something there that's speaking to you. That's that chemistry there. That is the workings of Venus. Okay, so now that we have a better understanding of basically Venus, Taurus, and what a new moon is, let's go on ahead and talk about the astrological chart happening with this new moon in the sign of Taurus. And I am just looking at my notes here. But so basically the first thing that I want to talk about here is we have the sun, moon, and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Now this is complete beauty and alignment here. This is moving at your own pace, only participating in the things that you truly resonate with, that you can truly feel with the five senses, with the sixth sense. Taurus is also the sign of manifestation. So this is all about finding things in a material form, in this physical form, that it sort of speaks to us on a different level. It speaks to us also spiritually, not just in a material physical sense, but it also speaks to us spiritually. And this is why I really advocate for the lower chakras, especially the root chakra, because this physical form, this physical body, this physical life and experience is the key to accessing the higher spiritual, the higher conscious states. We have to go through the physical body. We have to go through the root first. We have to interact with this physical form before we can access the higher states of consciousness. And so with the sun, moon, and Uranus, all three of these luminaries in the sign of Taurus, this is aligning or orienting with the ego, with the subconscious, and the rebel or authentic part of ourself, preconditioning. So we were not always this person that we are today. We are constantly evolving, constantly moving, constantly changing, right? We're constantly shape-shifting as we experience different things in life. Kind of like how the ancient Cometians or the ancient Egyptians believed in creation. They didn't see creation as just this one like boom, big bang, and we're all here. They saw creation as this evolutionary concept where it happened every single day, with the rising of the sun in the east to the setting of it in the west. And they saw it as something that just kept evolving throughout time. That's exactly what has happened with us. We have evolved over time. When we were children, when we were younger, before the world and our society and our peers and our families and our own internal minds and doubts and things like that and insecurities got a hold of us, we were something completely different. We had no cares in the world, but because this was us, before we were conditioned, before we were programmed to sort of fit or mold into this world and into this society. So these 3 planets aligning in the sign of Taurus, this is us reconnecting to who we used to be before all of this conditioning and programming. This is us connecting to that inner child. Taurus is a very youthful sign, a youthful energy. It's the 2nd sign in the zodiac wheel. That's why it rules the 2nd house. This means this is very youthful, very young energy. This is energy that hasn't necessarily been conditioned and molded yet, okay? So these 3 planets are really getting along. But the one thing that I really want to touch on here, and it seems like no one ever really talks about it, is the fact that Taurus is so instinctively, it's just instinctively an energy that loves to compartmentalize, where it has a place for everything. And that might be because it's ruled by the 5 senses, where it's like, you use your eyes for this, your nose for that, your hands for this, your ears for that, so it's kind of like there's a place for everything and everything has to be in its place. There's just a reason for everything with Taurus. And if those reasons aren't engaged, applied, or engaged, or it's stimulated or fulfilled in some way, then it's almost as if Taurus just kind of looks at it and goes, well, don't need you, kind of, But the thing is that this is going to get very interesting because we have Venus in the sign of Gemini for this new moon, and Venus is going to be in Gemini for quite a long time because she's also going to be going retrograde pretty soon here in the sign of Gemini. So she's going to be spending more time than usual in this particular energy. But the thing here is Venus rules Taurus, right? And she's in the sign of Gemini. So Venus in Gemini has a bit of a switch to her. So sometimes she's going to want to socialize, be very sociable, be this like social butterfly. And other times she's going to want to be very private. Stay away from me. I'm compartmentalizing you. I only sort of deal with you when I'm out and about and I'm in that social sort of element, when I'm in that sort of vibe where I want to be around people, where I want to communicate, where I want to socialize. And then there's going to be other times where she says, okay, I don't need you. I don't need you right now. Right now, what I need is my privacy. Right now, what I need is my alone time. Right now, what I need is my own energy to sort of marinate on. So there's going to be parts of you that you're going to either want to keep hidden away or to yourself. There's even more categorizing than normal with Venus in the sign of Gemini. And this is because Gemini changes its perception, opinion, views, and feelings with every new piece of information that it gathers or picks up. Now, moving on to Venus square Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Like we just discussed, Venus is in the sign Gemini and Neptune is in the sign Pisces. Now, Venus and Neptune, they're kind of like sisters. Venus is like the little sister to Neptune, but right now they're feuding, they're not really getting along. And this is because Venus in the sign of Gemini being a very intellectual planet or a very intellectual sign, very intellectual energy, Venus wants facts. She wants information, science, no gray area. And Neptune kind of wants to intuit and emote her way through right now as she's moving through her native sign, the sign of Pisces. So at this time, we really want to solidify our emotions, figure out how it is that we feel, what's going on. We want answers. It's kind of like that dreaded question, like the what are we sort of question, where it's just like, let's just solidify what's going on. Let's come to an agreement. Let's come to an understanding of exactly what's happening. Let's get on the same page here. Like I said, Venus is all about harmonizing, no matter what sign it is she's moving through. So Venus really wants to harmonize, and she wants to harmonize with facts, with science, with answers, with things where it's like, it's black and white, no gray area. I'm not necessarily using my intuitive sixth sense to figure things out, to sort of fill in the answers. No, I want to hear it straight from the horse's ass. How you feel, how I feel, I need to figure this out. There's no figuring this out as we go along. This is, hey, what are we? What's going on? What is the deal? Okay. And you might be having those conversations, or people may be having those conversations with you right now. Like, what's going on? What are we doing here? And like I said, because Taurus is hardwired, it's in their nature to compartmentalize everything. This is a serious need to feel needed and wanted at this time. And if we don't feel needed or wanted, there's a very serious possibility here of sort of stepping away or walking away or being turned off by the situation, because it's just a feeling of like, I'm here wasting my time. And Taurus has a very serious, Taurus is very seriously tuned into resources, understanding that, hey, my time is a resource. My time is valuable. My time is money. My energy is a resource. My energy is value. My energy is money. So there's a very serious need here to be like, hey, why am I spending this resource? Very much so like when you're watching your bank account, right? And you're trying to figure out where all your money is going. It's the same exact thing, except that Taurus sees things outside of money as resources as well, as valuable resources as well, okay? Now moving on to Venus trine Mars in the sign of Aquarius. So this is a very, very, very good aspect here. And let me just turn this down, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so Venus trine Mars in the sign of Aquarius. This is a very good aspect. Now, like we have already come to the conclusion, Venus rules the sign of Taurus and Uranus rules the sign Aquarius, and Uranus is in the sign of Taurus currently and will be there for the next 6 years or so. And Mars is currently pushing through the sign of Aquarius. Okay, so it all kind of ties back in some way, shape, or form to the sign of Taurus. So what this is this is a complete comprehension of what it's going to take to get what we want. This is a complete comprehension of the price that we have to pay. How much resource do I need to spend here in order to obtain or procure this? It's almost like when you're teaching your child, hey, okay, you want candy, well, you have to clean your room, or you want to go out and get this video game, then that means that you need to do this amount of chores in order to get that. So it's like this understanding, this very basic, broken down, very simple understanding of I have to do this in order to get that. But this is a very, very important lesson for us to remember and to take throughout the year, because it's very just simply breaking down where we need to invest our energy, our time, our emotions, and our own physical actions in order to bring certain things into being, because sometimes we forget. Sometimes we get so caught up in all the other details, but basically we're learning how to slowly work our way towards that at our own pace as we are in the sign or the energy of Taurus. So this is slow movement. This is that pinnacle movement, but that pinnacle slow movement, it builds longevity, it builds stability, and it brings in permanence. So this is creating like a well-oiled machine or a well-oiled system that can run itself. That the way you don't have to be on top of every little detail, because being on top of every little detail, it does what? It expends energy. It expends resources that we could be funneling into something else. So let's just use that as an example. If I want to buy this big house, then I need to sort of be disciplined in these areas. That the way I'm saving money. That means maybe no going out to eat for the next 6 months, maybe no splurging on going out to restaurants and taking vacations over the next 6 months. But once you get into that routine, that system of disciplining yourself when it comes to spending your money, once you get into that routine where it's like, I'm only spending money on my essentials, eventually you're going to save up enough money to be able to buy that house, right? So it's the same exact thing that we're doing. Sort of take it as it resonates, okay? So like I was saying, Mars is moving through the sign Aquarius. And even though Mars instinctively, in his own nature, he's just hardwired to be a bit impulsive, because he rules the first house. So this is all about taking that first step. He has to be a bit impulsive. He's cardinal energy, right? So even though Mars is a bit impulsive, he's not forcing right now. What he's actually doing as he's moving through the sign of Aquarius, a very evolved, mature sign, Mars is taking on that evolved, mature sort of energy of Aquarius, and he's listening a lot more as he is in the sign of Aquarius. Instead, a more mature, evolved sign, experienced sign, he's more so like, you know what? I've learned a few things as I'm moving throughout Aquarius. Now what I've learned to do is I've really learned to value listening and taking my time a little bit before making a step that might be unnecessary, that might be an unnecessary unnecessary expenditure of this particular resource, of my energy, of my time, of my money, of my emotions, of my whatever. So he's thinking a little bit more. He's listening a lot more as he is moving through the sign of Aquarius. And this is giving Mars a lot more perspective to work with. So our impulsions, desires, drives, motivations, and ambitions are patiently cooperating with divine timing right now. We're not so moved by, I just want this thing, so I just gotta go and do this, and I just gotta go and do that. We're not so pulled by our desires and temptations and wants and needs anymore, but now we have a little bit more control over them. We're exercising a lot more self-control at this time instead of just being sort of driven off of our innate desires, so this is kind of like that strength card in tarot where she's taming the beast. We're taming that inner beast, we're taming that undomesticated part of ourselves, even though that's the part of us that we're really connecting with right now, is the preconditioned, untamed, undomesticated part of ourselves. We're learning how to kind of get that part of us in control while also listening to it. So this is a very crucial time right now. So we're going to feel a lot more patient with ourselves, others, and our goals at this time. Taurus is an extremely patient, methodical energy to be working with. So we're going to be a lot more patient just overall around the board at this time. This is a lot of allowance to say, you know what, this is going to take time to get here. This is going to take time to get there. And we're not feeling so pressured by the amount of time that it's going to take to really pull something huge off in our life. So we're not just looking around every corner after we commit to every action or commit to every decision. After we do something, we're not just immediately looking around the corner waiting for this thing to actually come into being, but we're understanding, hey, you know what, it's going to take time, and that's okay. I've got time. So we're a lot more patient right now, which is a very good thing. That it's a great thing that this Taurus energy comes directly after Aries, because if not, we'd just be tripping over our own feet basically. Now moving on to Mercury and Chiron in the sign of Aries. Now this is very dense concentration on what we want and how bad habits have inhibited us or stifled us. Now going back to Mars for a minute. Now Mars is usually the one that's more focused on a goal because he's a ruler of Aries. But while he's in the sign of Aquarius, he has a more evolved or developed point of view. He's more traveled, experienced, and understanding as he's moving through the sign of Aquarius. So Mars is not as dogmatic in his approach as he's moving through Aquarius. Now, Mercury and Chiron in the sign of Aries, Mercury is actually going to be the one that's more critical or rigid while in the sign of Aries. So mentally, we may feel very one-track mind, and this can manifest as us hyper-focusing on one goal or one target, but at the same time not discriminating on the different methods and strategies that we have used to get what we want. So again, this is more compartmentalizing who and what we need to get what we want. So if someone or something isn't needed at this time, there's not going to be much of a sense of urgency to reach out and call just to see, hey, how are you doing? Hey, what's up? Like I said, this is all about compartmentalization. As kind of as bad as it sounds, it's not a bad thing. It's just a very, like I said, one-track mind. We're sort of situated on that goal and what we want or need in life. So we're just very much so about, if you can't help me, I don't really need to waste my time with you, because we have such an understanding of resources and how valuable they are right now. But fair warning, people may feel used or shut out of certain parts of your life at this time right now, or maybe you might feel that way towards someone else, where it's just like, I feel like you only call me if you need something, or I feel like you're not sharing everything with me. I feel like you're not keeping me in the loop. You could feel that way, or you could be making others feel that way, okay? Now moving on to Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto conjunct the unholy trinity right here. Basically, this is immense weight and pressure and massive epiphanies. That's what's happening with this Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto conjunction. So you may have very low energy during this time. Please take extra care of your own physical health, because it's very easy to sort of show wear and tear during Taurus season, because Taurus, like I said, is it's an earth sign, and it's a sign of manifestation. So this is physical manifestations of whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever it is that's going on internally, okay? So if you're stressed about something, it may reveal itself physically through like breakouts, hives, centralized anxiety that sort of like localizes in one area or one place in your body, especially because too, we have Jupiter and Pluto moving throughout Capricorn. Capricorn rules the skin, okay? The skin and the bones. Another very interesting thing, though, that I feel that the Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto conjunction really wants us to focus on is protection and prevention. Protecting ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Preventing things that have brought down our energy levels, that have brought us down spiritually, brought us down emotionally, mentally, physically, the things that have really sort of attacked us. These three planets coming into conjunction, they're really trying to get us to focus on the fact, hey, you need to protect yourself a little bit more in this area by realizing that this resource, you're overspending in this area. Could be overspending energetically. You could be overspending emotionally. You could be overspending mentally. So there's things that these three planets coming into conjunction wants us to realize in terms of, hey, maybe you're spending a little too much over here or not enough over there, and it's contributing to this issue. It's contributing to this quality of life or this experience of life that you are having, that you are living. So there's a lot here about protection and prevention. I've been telling you guys now for the last maybe like 2 months, I've just been really getting from spirit, from the universe, that they really want us to focus on our mental health, protecting our mental health. You have to stay in your own bubble. In order for this year to go the way that you want it to go, this is all about stability. I mentioned this December of 2019 in my 2020 prediction video. You know, in that video, I really talked about how there's going to be a lot of things happening in 2020 that come in and try to destabilize us. And there's going to be a lot of things that come in trying to stabilize us. And who knows, some of the things that are destabilizing us might be the very things that actually stabilize us. So these three planets really want us to focus on how can our actions change or impact our future. How are our actions, present actions right now, how are they impacting the future? How is this present action or decision investing into my future? What am I putting into my future with this present action and decision? How can I keep history from repeating itself? Now, this is a very heavy responsibility to bear, but it's a time for serious contemplation of how we got here, not just personally, but also collectively. So Saturn moving throughout the sign of Aquarius is really helping to shift our focus and perspective outside of our own suffering and internal issues and discomfort, to see how, wow, if I take a step back, I can see that this is an issue that's bigger than me, or this is an issue that is bigger than just that house that I want to buy, or this is an issue that's just bigger than that vacation that I want to take, or that, person that I want to be with, whatever the case, So this is us being able to step outside of our own issues and develop a third person point of view to our own life. This action over here kept me from getting that house or that goal or that dream job or that dream person or that relationship. Maybe it's an issue from your past. Maybe it's an issue from your childhood that you're realizing, wow, that is really keeping me from being in a healthy, constructive relationship. That issue from my past relationship or from my parents is keeping me from being happy with someone else or being happy with my own self. And so it's those tiny revelations. So we're compartmentalizing during this time because it's about recognizing more than just our faults, but our past actions and decisions. Because those are what got us here, whether it's on a personal or a collective level. Those past actions and decisions are what got us here to this point. And many of us don't ever want to come back. So it's a really important time right now to sort of categorize people, habits, routines, lifestyles, weaknesses, energies, things that we're predisposed to, realizing how we are a product of our environment, whatever that environment may have been. And when we condense our issues in our life, we can get a better or more accurate diagnostic on exactly how the past has contributed to where we are now. We are pinpointing the origin of our present life. Why does our present life look the way it does, whether we're happy with it or not? How did we get here? Where did we come from? What is the root? And this is how we serve the greater whole or the greater good, by focusing on the smaller things and the self. Now, the very last thing that I want to talk about in the astrological chart here is the North and the South node. They are doing something very interesting right now. The North node is still in the sign of Cancer, about to move into the sign of Gemini, and the South node is still in the sign of Capricorn, about to move into the sign Sagittarius. Now, the interesting thing is both the South and the North node, they are sitting at 0 degrees right now in their signs. But the 0 degree represents the beginning of a lesson when we deal with astrology, because there's 30 degrees in each house or each sign, and that's how it's split up to culminate to a 360-degree wheel. So when we're dealing with the 0 degree, this is the beginning of a lesson. So this is kind of like the World card in tarot. We're meeting the end of the phase by revisiting the beginning. So this is a reintroduction to a particular experience, feeling, or point in time in our life, or finally realizing how all the dots all this time have been connected. So many of us will feel as though we're repeating something or making a huge mistake or doing something over again that we've done before, revisiting some place that we've been to before, dealing with something that we feel like we've dealt with before. There will be some form or feeling of familiarity as the nodes prepare to enter Gemini and Sagittarius. So this is us feeling or sensing without doing instead of doing without feeling or sensing. This is us learning how to nurture and listen to the inner child again, and to take that time to patiently nurture and listen to the inner child. This is a time of healing as we retrace our steps and reconnect back to the essentials before moving on to that next lesson, before moving on to that new lesson, that new phase, that new chapter, that new book, that new time in our life. Also, I am not going to forget to put in the meditation for you guys, because I know very many of you guys, you kind of like that little moment that you can get to just sort of breathe, relax, center yourself. Right, one just came out. I think I'm only going to do 3 cards. 3 tarot cards. I feel like that's all we need for some reason. Okay, well, Spirit said no. 4 cards. All right. So for the tarot cards, the very first one that we have here, the 8 of Cups in reverse, you guys. So with the 8 of Cups in reverse, like I was saying, we're revisiting. We're revisiting a lot of things. Instead of necessarily just walking away and leaving things to sort of decompose and die off, like we're actually revisiting things. And this is going to feel very it's going to feel like you're moving backwards. It's going to feel like you're making a mistake. It's going to feel like I left you in my past for a reason, and for whatever reason, I'm back and I'm exploring this again, or I'm exploring you again, or I'm back at this place. I'm back in this mindset. I'm back in this area of my life. I'm back in this point in time of my life. Things may feel like they came full circle, and you may feel like you're making a huge mistake. You're not. That's the thing that I'm getting from this, with this 8 of Cups in reverse. You're not actually making a mistake. It's just going to feel like it. What you're actually doing is you're moving forward, like I was saying, throughout reading the astrological chart with you guys, that, you know, we're revisiting a lot of things. It's kind of like the World card in tarot, where it's like we're ending one phase by revisiting the beginning of it. The thing that I do want to say about this 8 of Cups in reverse, though, is we have to be very careful about revisiting the past, revisiting anything. We have to be very careful about it, that we're not taking this as a sign that, oh, I've made a mistake and I should come back, or I should do this again. It's not a mistake, okay? The reason that we are revisiting our past, there's a very divine purpose for it. There's something for us to learn, or there's some sort of loose ends that we need to tie up. But it doesn't necessarily mean get comfortable, kick your feet up, and, you know, like make a home, like make a space with your past. That is not what Spirit in the universe is asking of us. Spirit in the universe is asking of us, we're revisiting this for a reason. Pay attention, because you're going to keep moving right past this. You're just blowing in for a moment, and you're going to keep moving right past this. Even if something or someone has come back into your life, don't necessarily get very comfortable with it just yet. Don't mistake this as a sign that this is meant to be. That's not necessarily what this is. There's some sort of loose ends that very many of us need to tie up or are tying up at this point in time of our life. For whatever reason, this is one of the pit stops, moving throughout as we're taking this sort of not detour, but this journey, this road trip through life. This is one of the stops, but you're not moving backwards. You're actually moving. You're actually progressing. So this, like I said, is happening for a very divine purpose, but don't get caught up in the fact that you're revisiting something again or that something is back. Don't get caught up in that, okay? The next card that we have here, the Fool in reverse. I mean, I don't really think that I need to say anything besides the fact of what I've already said. The Fool is what? It's the very first card in the major arcana of tarot because it represents this new beginning. We're starting something. We're starting something new. Like I was saying with the Eight of Cups in reverse, because the Eight of Cups shows somebody that has neatly stacked up those 8 cups and they are finally walking away. They finally gotten it through their head. It's not going to work. It's not meant to be. So I need to go find a different path. I need to go find a different way because this is not meant for me. And so they finally muster up the courage to stack those cups up nicely and organized and neatly and finally walk away. Not leave the bridge burn. We don't have to leave explosions and fire going off in the background. We don't have to leave out hot. This is all about leaving things intact, but saying it's just not for me and walking away and being okay with that and accepting that. But because we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, and the Fool in reverse, this is telling me that very many of us probably left complete carnage going off in the background. We probably left explosions. We probably did some things where it's just like, okay, we burned that bridge. We burned it down to nothing. I feel like Spirit is having us revisit things so we can actually build that bridge again. Build a bridge to something. For some reason, Spirit wants us to stay connected to a certain part of our past. It doesn't necessarily just want us to move on and be like, that never happened. I'm so evolved now. I'm so moved on. I'm so zen. And, Spirit doesn't want us to do that for some reason. Spirit is trying to humble us and say, no, remember where you came from. Remember where you came from. And so for some reason, this is just the way that Spirit in the universe is moving us. And not everything is supposed to be understood. And that's fine. And we just have to kind of accept that and say, okay, I'm willing to kind of go with this flow. I'm willing to kind of move with this. And let me just also say this as well, that Spirit in the universe is not going to have you revisit something that was detrimental to you or unhealthy or dangerous for you. Okay. So if you were in a sort of situation that was detrimental, volatile, violent, dangerous, something like that, maybe you're not actually revisiting that particular situation. Maybe you're reminiscing on it. Maybe you're seeking therapy for it. Maybe you're talking it out. Maybe you're journaling it out. Maybe you're using that experience to help someone else. That might be the way that you're revisiting this, okay? It might not always be like a physical rewind, I guess you could say. Sometimes it might just be maybe we're just emotionally processing it, or maybe we're just emotionally reminiscing on it, or maybe we're just like mentally revisiting this thing or something like that. But not necessarily, don't take it in the sense where it's just like, oh, I have to go back to the situation that I left. Even if you have left a situation and you're completely gone, don't force yourself to go backwards into a situation. This is for my people that have been walking forwards, okay? We've just been trotting forwards, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, this looks familiar, that looks familiar, I feel like I've been here before. Damn it, I have been here before. This is for those people that have somehow ended up back where they started, okay? So this message is for you. The message is, you did not make a mistake. You are moving forwards. You are moving right along. The thing is there's something here to learn. There's something here to learn. There's something that you need to sort of observe. Don't necessarily internalize it and say, oh, this is a sign, this is meant to be. I'm supposed to be back here. No, this is not where you're supposed to set your bags down and unpack. Keep those bags packed, but observe, because very quickly, I'm pretty sure very many of you are going to be getting the sign or the signal, hey, time to move again, okay? The next card that we have here, you guys, I can't make this shit up. You saw me shuffle these cards. The next card that we have, Death in reverse. Death in reverse. Death in reverse. You can't reverse death, right? When something has decayed, decomposed, died, you can't reverse that. Once this ultimate change and transformation has taken place, you cannot reverse it. This is why I'm saying to you guys, again, this death card in reverse is coming to remind us reversals don't always mean a bad thing either. Let me just say that, okay? I read intuitively. I don't just read what the cards mean based off of some book or online. I go off of intuitively what I am hearing, what I am feeling, what I am receiving, okay? So reversals don't always mean a bad thing. What I'm getting with this death card in reverse is it is doubling down on the fact that it's saying you have not made a mistake. This change, the death card in tarot represents change, not necessarily death. It just represents change. The way that death represents change. We're phasing out of this form, out of this body, out of this avatar into a completely new form. That's what death is, right? We let this old body go so that the way we can take on a completely new form. So that's what the death card in tarot represents. A change, a transformation that cannot be reversed. And it cannot be avoided. You have to take it on. You have to accept it. And if not, it's just going to overwhelm you and take you anyways. That's what death means in tarot. To see this card in reverse here is telling me you are still transforming. You are still changing. You are still in that transformational period. You are still progressing. You are still moving forwards because true death, true change cannot be reversed. So fuck your circumstances and your environment. Just because your environment looks the same doesn't mean that you have made a mistake. It doesn't mean that you are moving backwards. On the contrary, you're moving right along as scheduled. You return to this place for a very specific divine purpose. Just observe that. But keep those bags packed. I don't think I need to say anything else about that. And then the very final card that we have here is Six of Wands in reverse. So this is telling me this is not about winning right now. This is not about victory. This is not about moving along. Like I was talking about in the astrological chart, how this Taurus season is all about breaking us down to get to the essentials, to get back to the basics. We're going back to the basics. So this is not about winning. This is not about progressing. This is not about moving forward. This is actually about revisiting things that maybe we need to tie up loose ends. Maybe we didn't necessarily learn what we needed to, because that real change, that real death is coming. The real Fool, that new beginning is coming. That real Eight of Cups moment is coming. That real Six of Wands victory. Sorry, you guys, my camera turned off. But that real Six of Wands moment, that victory moment is coming. It's actually coming. That real moment is coming, you guys. That real moment where you're going to be asked to walk away, to finally leave your past in the past with the Eight of Cups is coming. This is still coming for you. All of this is still coming for you. But right now, it's not about that. Right now, it's about going back to the basics, because there's something that you've missed. There's something that we've missed. There's something that we've overlooked. There's something that we're not seeing. And then underneath the deck here, you guys, the Devil in reverse. What did I tell you guys? You've been freed, okay? You've been freed. You've been freed from your past. You're not actually trapped. You're not actually making a mistake. You're not actually moving backwards. You're moving forwards. The Devil in reverse is saying that those unbreakable chains, those unseen bonds and cords and attachments have been severed. That's what the Devil in reverse is saying. It's been severed. Those ties have been severed. Wait, there's a card here that was flipped over. And we have the Three of Pentacles. That was the card that was like flipped over. Three of Pentacles upright. So like I was saying with this Devil card in reverse that was underneath the deck, you actually have been severed from the ties, from the cords, from the attachments of your past. and from mistakes and from things and disappointments, things that you didn't necessarily like. You've been severed from that. You're disconnected from that. You are no longer attached to that. This is why it is now safe for you to revisit the past, because you've been disconnected from it. I just got goosebumps. That just hit me. That hit me just now. I got goosebumps. All right. I'm going to say that one more time. Now it is finally safe for you, because now you are strong enough to walk that same path, to retrace those same steps. It is finally safe for you because you're strong enough to retrace those steps. You're strong enough to be back in that environment and to say, no, I'm here, but I'm changed. I'm different. I am different. This situation looks the same, but I'm different. It's safe for you now to revisit your past. Now it is safe for you to revisit that place that almost broke you in two. That same place that took you out of your character, you're stronger now. That's why you're back there. You're back there because Spirit in the universe is saying, oh no, we made a warrior out of you, baby. You're okay. But we have to go back here for a reason. You left something, or you forgot something, or you overlooked something. There's something over there. And we're sending you back because you're okay. You got this, but you're not going to be there for long. You're moving right along. You're blowing right past this. And Three of Pentacles, like I said, this card was just turned over in my deck. In the cards here, it was just turned over. And so the Three of Pentacles to me is saying this is all orchestrated. I just heard the word orchestrated. It's all orchestrated. It's all been orchestrated. Everything that is going on in your life, for those of you, like I said, this is a very specific message for those of you that may feel like you've made a mistake, you're moving backwards, you're not progressing, you're stagnant, you're not moving forwards, you're doing everything right, you don't understand why you're back here. This message is for you. This has all been orchestrated. Don't worry about none of it. It's all been orchestrated for a very specific purpose. Let me get some oracle cards, you guys. Let's just see. I don't like it when that many cards fall out, you guys. You guys know me. These cards, though, these tarot cards, I'm floored. I'm just floored. And I just love how, ooh, beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna get one more. So okay, maybe there was two more left. All right, you guys. The very first one that popped out, Gaia, Mother Earth, and look at her, she's pregnant. What did I say? This is a fertile time. This is a very fertile time for you to set intentions, new intentions, especially if you feel like, I'm back here again. Why am I back here again? I thought I was moving forwards. I thought everything was going right. This is a beautiful time to set intentions, as well as Gaia is coming through to say, this is my time. This is my time to implant you with new, fresh energy. Even though you're revisiting something, you have been implanted with fresh energy. You are new. That's why she's pregnant here. She's pregnant to say that this has all been part of the plan. It's all been part of the plan. And you can't see right now this newness that is coming. You can't see this newness that is coming. You can't see it yet because this energy is still pregnant with your future, with your new beginning, with your fresh start. This energy is still pregnant with that. And if you guys remember when I was talking about the new moon in Aries, that video that I did about a month ago, I told you guys that this is not a new beginning. I told you guys very specifically in that video, I said for us to think that we're starting out on a new beginning is the wrong way to look at this. It's the wrong way to see this. We are not starting out on a new beginning. You've been on this road the entire time. You can check that video out. I said that like a month ago. The next card that we have here is you guys see that? Ellen of the Ways, patterns, cycles, karmic patterns, karmic cycles, just repeating them, just going back through them. We're going back somewhere for a very specific reason. For a very specific reason. Even though we're pregnant with new, fresh energy, We're repeating a pattern. But this isn't a normal pattern. This isn't a normal cycle like before, like how we used to get sort of caught in our past. We're not getting caught up in that. We're pregnant with new fresh energy. We can't forget that new fresh energy that we are holding in our womb right now. We can feel that new beginning. I know many of you can feel that new beginning. And that's why for very many of you guys, it's very frustrating, because it's like, well, why am I here again? Why am I here again? I know I feel something new. I feel something on the brink. And why am I here, though? I thought that my new beginning had nothing to do with this. No, yes, you are pregnant with your new beginning. The new beginning is in you. It's not out there somewhere. It's not out there somewhere just waiting on you. It's in you. You are carrying yourself into that new beginning. You are carrying yourself into the future. That the future is not something that is separated from you. Your future is in you right now. The future is your present. The past is your present. I know as humans, we get very confused with time, thinking that it's linear. It's yesterday, today, and tomorrow. No, it's all happening at once. Your future is in you. You are carrying your future. Okay? You're carrying that. So even though it's a pattern, don't be worried about it. You're not giving birth to your future in this old space. You're just here for a moment. You're just here for a moment. Next card that we have here. Rhea, flow. What did I tell you guys? We're flowing. We are flowing. We're moving right along. We're moving right along. And then the final card that we have here, is Epona. I don't know, but it says, look at this, you guys. Wise leadership. Wise leadership. What were we talking about in the beginning of that astrological chart? Being a leader. Taurus energy is kind of like leader energy, where it's just like, you know what? I'm going to do what just feels right for me, because it feels right for me. Like I was talking about with Taurus, this is doing things at your own pace. So if you have to revisit something, if you are kind of coming back to a pattern and you're disappointed with yourself or whatever the case, don't be. Don't be. You are a leader. You're a leader, okay? And you are flowing. And you're doing things at your own speed, at your own pace. And the universe realized, hey, you left something. You left something, or you need something, or there's something you forgot, or there's something you got to figure out. There's something that you need to do. The universe is giving us that chance to do it. Underneath the card deck here, we have Nyx, secrets. So for some of you, there's some truth that you need to discover. There's a truth that you left in that pattern that you haven't necessarily accepted or discovered yet, that you're going to come to find out. And like I said, you're stronger now. So whatever it is that you do come up to realizing, or whatever revelation does come to you, you're stronger now. You're able to deal with this. Plus, you're also carrying your future. You're also carrying your future the way a woman carries a child, and you are realizing how precious and how delicate and how important this future is. So you're not willing to just risk it for anything. You're not willing to throw away your future for this past and for this pattern. You realize how important this future child is. And I'm saying that in a metaphorical sense. Some of you may actually be pregnant as well. Some of you may actually be pregnant as well. And you're just realizing, like, you know what? I need to let go of my past. Because I'm not bringing this child, I'm not bringing this new life into my past. My child is going to have better than me. And whether this is an actual child or a concept, whatever it is, you're going to birth that child. You're going to birth this new beginning. You're going to birth your future into a completely new space. It's not going to be birthed in this old space. The universe does not work that way. It doesn't. Let's see what other oracle card we have here. I am just loving these cards today. All right, a lot of them flipped out. You guys, I can't... The very first one that we have here is the Magi. The Magi is much like the Magician, manifesting. This is fertile time, you guys. Fertile time. Fertile time. To plant intentions, set new intentions if you want to. The Magi is saying manifest it, because you're very able to get pregnant right now. Very able. Whether that is like a literal thing or more so metaphorical, you are very much so able to bring in the life that you want, to birth this new life into being. The next card, you guys, look at this. I can't make this up. Movement. Movement, you guys. Movement. You are moving. And look at this. Doesn't it look like a winding road? It's not a straight shot. It's not a straight shot. It's a winding road like a snake. It's a winding road. It's never just a straight up, I'm just heading towards my future and just haul assing over there. No, like there's twists and turns because there's things that we're learning, and we are learning how to move with energy. It's fluid. It's not static. And then we have here the card of self-love. So very many of us revisiting our past is going to put us in a better situation and a better relationship with ourselves. As strange as that might sound, us revisiting our past is going to put us in a better situation where it's like, you know what? I'm learning to really appreciate myself more. I've got a better relationship with myself. I trust myself more. We have a relationship with ourselves. The most important relationship that we have is the one with ourselves. And what does a healthy relationship need to be successful? It needs communication, loyalty, trust, transparency. These are the same things that you need to feel and have within your own self. For a lot of us, revisiting the past, revisiting this pattern, moving in the direction that we're moving, is for us to develop a better relationship with ourselves, more self-love. And then we have, bottom of the deck, power. Beautiful. Beautiful. There's a lot of power here. This looks a lot like the Ace of Wands too. Power in this move. There's a lot of power in you revisiting this past. Let me keep going because my camera battery wants to die. All right. So, look at the two cards that came out, you guys. Look at the two cards that came out. Beauty. Venus. We're in Taurus season, ruled by Venus. Venus is a planet of love and beauty, and it says, I have a form which is divine. I allow what is within to shine. Look at the other card that came out, you guys. I cannot make this up. Fertility. 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 You guys, I can't make this up. It says, let all take root, seed, and sprout. Let new life be all about. New life is all around you. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's something that you're attracted to. It's something that you actually want. That's what this beauty card is saying. This is the life that you actually want. It's just going to take some time, and we have to revisit a couple of things, but it's no big deal. It's all cool. Underneath the deck, we have study. So there's something to learn. There's something to learn by revisiting our past. There's something to learn. There's something that we're going back to learn. So that this card just cleared it up. And it says here, let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. Like I was saying, mental health is a really important deal right now. Making sure that we're taking care of our mental health. And then I'm just going to do one more card, one final card from the Isis Aset Oracle deck. Let's see. Let's see what Mama Aset has to say. I really wanted to hear from her because I feel like she's really speaking. And so we have here High Priestess. Mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. Mysteries revealed. There was a mystery. There were things that we left behind in our past that we didn't understand. It didn't make sense. Those answers, you may have been asking why. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? How did this happen? How did that happen? It's all going to get revealed. And for whatever reason, the universe feels that you need this truth in order for you to move on. Maybe it's closure. Maybe this truth, these answers are going to provide you some form of closure. That the way you can finally move on and say, you know what? I'm ready to take on my future. I'm ready to take, that's what it is. A lot of you guys, it's very difficult for you to move on with your future because you're still reminiscing or thinking about the past. Whatever it is that you're rediscovering by repeating this or by revisiting the past, whatever it is that you're going to discover here is going to completely close that chapter where you're just like, there's no questions about it. You're not wondering about it. You're not skeptical. You're not thinking that you made a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have moved on so fast. Maybe I shouldn't have left so fast. Maybe I should have given it one more shot. This here, you revisiting the past, is going to solidify everything. It's going to solidify your future, where you know what belongs in your future, where you know what your future should look like. There's going to be no more questions after this. That's what the universe is doing. That's and then underneath the deck, you got the dark mysteries. Enter the chamber of the dark goddess. I told you guys I felt like a set wanted to talk. So I'm going to read the paragraphs, the little paragraphs from these two cards. You guys, it says a new clarity around your direction is unfolding. A new clarity around your direction. Like I just said, like I just got it. There's not going to be any more questions anymore about how you're moving, where you're moving, what direction you're going in. You're going to know I left that past in my past for a reason. Again, I'm going to read that line one more time. A new clarity around your direction is unfolding. Be willing to wait for the full reveal, but also recognize what is happening at this time. You will be gaining valuable insight into where you are being led and for what purpose. I can't. It is an exciting moment in your unfoldment. Have reverence and an open heart and mind, and wait patiently for the grand revelation that is on its way. I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm sorry, neighbors. I'm like in here yelling because I'm just like, the synchronicities. Okay. Okay, let's go on to the next one. The dark goddess calls you to her inner chamber, where she holds a test and a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. I'm done. I don't think Mother Set could have said it, any better. I should have just left this reading to her. I should have just left it to the Netarua Set, because she just dropped the mic on us, okay? She dropped the mic on us. So for very many of us, revisiting the past is all about us, like I said, like I had gotten earlier on in this reading, in this spread, and I had the goosebumps, and I was like, oh, the universe is having us revisit the past because now we're strong enough. And that's exactly what this dark mystery card said. You know the saying, like, if you throw me to the wolves, I'll come back leading the pack? It's like that. It's like that. You throw my ass to the wolves. See what happens when I come back here. Watch what happens, because I'm different now. And I've been through some things. I'm different. I'm way more evolved. This is giving us wisdom. That's what that wise leadership card also means too. We're gaining a lot of wisdom from this. A lot of wisdom is coming from our patterns, as long as we remember to flow right through them and move right through them. And there's going to be a lot of self-love that comes from it. A lot of power. Those secrets, they won't be secrets anymore. They won't be mysteries anymore. Mysteries are revealed. Dark mysteries are revealed. The universe is working in your favor to say, you deserve to know this. You deserve to know this, and now it's time. Now it's time. Now it's time for you to know. And that's the thing. The universe releases information and answers when it's ready to, when it wants to. When we are equipped enough and evolved enough to receive those answers, to receive the truth. The truth is what the world hates. Humans hate the truth. The world hates the truth because there's no convincing it. There's no influencing it. There's no manipulating it. There's nothing you can do. It is consistent and it doesn't waver. It doesn't change. And the world has grown to hate the truth. The truth is what's coming. It's coming for us on a personal level as well as I feel on a collective level. A lot of the truth is coming out. And this is going to cause even more instability, but at the same time, it's going to stabilize many of us that have been doing internal work. It's going to stabilize the hell out of us, where we're just like, I was waiting for this. I was sitting back, wait, this is my moment now. So this is all that I'm saying, you guys. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray this reading, this message, this video brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to take this time out to thank your beautiful guides, my beautiful guides, our higher self, the Neteru set, and of course, Amazing Spirit itself for these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. And of course, I'm going to leave these cards on the screen for you guys. That way you can intuit and divine your own messages. And feel free to leave them in the comments if you want to. But until next time, you guys, I love you so much. And I will be seeing you soon on the next video. Bye now.